Today I'm going to teach you how to do a half color change in crochet. So the way I've prepped it is I have a magic ring and then I have the 6 single crochet there. The second round is actually 6 increases, so that would be 2 single crochet in each of those 6, making that up to 12. And then in this next one I was going 1 single crochet and then an increase the entire way around, making it, currently it goes up to 17 because I'm on the last stitch for this round. So at this point, what you would want to do is insert your hook through the stitch. It's going to be the same as the last one because this is an increase. Grab the blue, but then you wouldn't want to pull through like you normally would. This is the point where you're going to go ahead and grab the yellow or whatever color you're changing to. In our case, it's yellow. So you go ahead and pull the yellow through and you can see you've got the blue there, you've got the yellow there. So now it's not too difficult. I just hold them both in my hand at the same time. So this next round, in order to keep it flat, I'm going to have to continue to do my increases. So I'll do single crochet, and then an increase. The single crochets are not bad. So you go ahead and go through, grab your blue, and then your yellow. Your blue, and then your yellow. Again, your blue, and then your yellow. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky because what you need to do now is you need to twist your yarn. Let me show you what happens if you don't twist it first. Maybe that'll help you understand why it's necessary. If you don't twist it, then look how it just does this funky little bunchy up thing way up here, and it's just really loose. It's still a stitch, kind of, but it just doesn't work very well. Essentially, it makes it look more like a chain or something that you were doing. I think more than anything, you just lose that bottom blue stitch and it chains into the yellow. So the way to stop it from doing that is to twist, and I twist them clockwise. So I twist the blue around the yellow, and then since this is the increase, you go in that same one. And the biggest thing is just kind of keeping that yellow from going through, because then you would see it on the front. And then again, you just do the yellow. So that twist is kind of the key factor there, which you don't really need unless you're doing an increase, but if you are, then it's super important. So let's do it again. We're going to go through, pull the yellow, through the stitch, yarn over, pull the blue, yarn over, pull the yellow. So now we're going to the next one that's going to be an increase. The first one is just normal. But the next one, remember, is where we want to twist those clockwise, go through, grab your blue, make sure your yellow is out of the way, and then you can grab your yellow. So, not bad. And you can see how this makes such a nice clean line. A lot of times when you're doing crochet and you're switching from one color to the other, you get this really jagged sawtoothed kind of pattern, but this gives you a much nicer, cleaner line. So I really like it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go through and do some more of these with you, just so that you have some practice, and then I'll be able to show you what we do at the beginning. So remember, twist that yarn back in the same stitch, grab your blue, make sure the yellow is out of the way, grab your yellow. So good. And we're gonna do it again. If you were doing a really big project, this tangling or this twisting here could become a little bit tangled. If that was the case, then you would want to stop and untwist it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and twist it again. Go through the same. Get the yellow out of the way. That's the key that I found. Otherwise, you end up with little pieces of yellow kind of poking through down there, and it looks funny. One. And two. And three. And then that fourth one is going to be our increase. If it gets a little bit fumbly, especially at first, don't feel bad. Okay, so we are almost there. The key being, of course, that you are having the blue on the bottom, the yellow on the top. Okay, so twist it there. All right, and you can kind of see what happens. This is what happens if you don't kind of control it on the back side. All right, so that gets you around to the front. So now what you're going to do, if you're going to continue in the yellow, which generally speaking I would say that you would, because otherwise there just wouldn't be that much yellow showing. I wouldn't think you'd want to just do this unless you were doing it for edge or something. But so at this point, you can go ahead and cut your blue. And just go and start working into that color. What I like to do is hold those two kind of together and just trap them. I might not do it with the blue though, because I'm afraid it might show up too much. So I'll just tuck that in later. Okay, and I'm just going to do enough for you to see. So this time I'm going to increase it on the fourth. And it is a slightly different sized yarn, but I wanted you to have a good color difference so that you could see what was going on. If you look here, you can see that there is just this lovely straight clean line. There's been a couple of my projects where I've also worked in just one side of it, and let me show you what that does. If you just work in the one side, almost there, then you're going to get this really strong line right here. And so I've done that a couple times for the edge of an iris, something where I really want it to stand out. But I mean, this can just be a really useful tool for all kinds of different projects. And it tends to be a little bit softer at this edge where it spirals into the next one. You could do a slip stitch there before you started crocheting in, and that might help minimize that even more. If you have any questions, go ahead and list them below.